Yeah, welcome to the Realm Forge. We are going to be painting a happy little dinosaur, as we've been saying. Um, got this guy right here. Focus. There we go. Is a Seraphon Warhammer 40k fella. Actually, I need to grab the book because I need to look up his color scheme before we get started. But I have an entire Seraphon army that has been sent to me by our friend Jeremy. Jeremy, if you're watching, thank you. This is going to cause several hours of labor and love, and I'm very excited about it. So, Jeremy has an entire Seraphon army that he would love for us to paint. So, that is going to be one of our missions. Second mission is to create scatter terrain, diorama. Literally creating the forge, the realm of the forges. Forging the realms. I'll get it eventually. I don't usually talk on video. For these guys to stand on. So this was our first stream last Sunday. Very happy all of you got to join and see it. And this is a little more close up here. Nice ruins for a jungle-like terrain, which is the theme and vibe that Jeremy would like the army to be set in. So we created a few gentlemen that can be scattered throughout, no matter where or what teams of the army are coming out, what units rather I should say. I don't play Warhammer 40k, so I'm very new to this, and finding out what works best. So tonight we're going to paint at least this gentleman, get him all done up nice so that he fits right in with the diorama, and then we'll work our way down to some of the smaller folks. I have entire arrangements that we can go through if we want to paint additional characters. So we got plenty to paint. Let me go get the Warhammer 40k book. We'll look him up and make sure we have the right color scheme that Jeremy was looking for. Be right back. Let's see. Of course, Jeremy is the one that built all these, so I don't know who is who. There are a lot of units to choose from. And if I'm not mistaken, we have all of these to paint. So this will be intense. I have not read through all the lore yet, but from a little bit of what Jeremy has told me, they are the good guys of the Warhammer world, realm, arcana, not really, age, maybe that's the way to look at it. So let's see if we can find, those are some of the main units. Leaders, priests. Okay, here we go. Now we got some color schemes. The good thing about painting is that if you don't like the color, paint right over again. You make happy little mistakes, says Bob Ross. Hello, Floral Lion. Thanks you for joining. I never talk on streams, so this is gonna be really awkward for me. Looks like this is the guy we're looking at. I'm gonna double check to see if that's the color Jeremy wanted to go with. I know the main concern was setting up two different colors for the smaller units. It's the difference between a guard and a warrior, and that can be very confusing. So that was one of his main things he wanted to be different. Let me scroll back through my notes. I'm sure I took notes because that would have been smart. It appears I did not take notes. Okay. Well, I will check with Jeremy. Like I said, this is a good practice run. There is an entire army to paint, so if this is not the color scheme, that's perfectly fine. We'll be able to work it up a different way. I'm gonna make them pink. I could make them pink. I know it was I think these guys are warriors, and then there's another small fellows that I think are guards. Guards are slightly more armored than the warriors, and those are the two things he really wanted a different color. I know when we were discussing the larger dinosaurs, which let's see if I've got one somewhere. Oh, we're talking about the larger dinosaurs. I mean, we got some hecking cool stuff to paint. I am big dinosaur fan. This is going to be amazing. We have an entire series, which, you know, me as a mini painter, diorama maker since the beginning of COVID, I've not seen anyone else do dinosaurs or Warhammer or anything like that. So I'm super stoked. Have you guys watched? It had me geek out while I paint dinosaurs. Man, how cool could it be? I know, I I am an inner kid, so why not? And then the dioramas themselves, I do plan to incorporate some LEDs and make some really cool stuff. There is also a video that I saw come out of a new trailer. I do not watch anime or anything like that, so I have very bad pronunciation of Japanese and Chinese names. There is a new game coming out called Kyoryu. It's basically post-apocalyptic Japan after kind of like a Blade Runner era where dinosaurs used to be part of their everyday environment. Like they would have races. It was almost like you had them as dogs. And the humans disappeared, extinct, something or other. And it looks like it's about a small T-Rex guy and his parent who was a champion or something like that in combatant rings or something like that, gladiator style, exploring the world of abandoned Japan. So I'll link that somewhere in the description so you guys can know what I'm talking about. It's still in development, but coming to Steam, I think, fairly soon. I'm super friggin' excited. It is cute. If you ever watched or played the game Stray, it's kind of that vibe. So very excited. Put away that unhappy dinosaur, and we're gonna focus on see if I can find a close-up photo. There we go. So they have him as blue in this one. Was he blue in the other one? I guess he doesn't look as blue. This looks very blue. Oh, okay, here we go. One is slightly less blue, more of a teal. That one looks like a frost giant kind of version, so I have no idea. Yeah, that's gonna be weird. Thank you for allowing me to go with blue. I appreciate it. I know we're gonna go with some of the striped kind of versions too when we do the larger dinosaurs, so that'll be super freaking cool. Oh man, I mean, look at that. This is gonna be what we will have by the end of it all. We have this piece here. I'm going to create some of these larger ruined daises. This was our inspiration for last stream, was this little section here, kind of a ruin. I made it look much more ruined. So, but we have these Triceratops, Torosaur type ideas. We have the Dimodons, Dimodon, I can't remember what they're actually called. The actual one. Yeah, this is gonna be wicked cool. And of course we have the boss man, all those to work with. So there's some, oh look at that, they even got some ways to walk us through the guide. Huh. Dark to light. Yep, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. That is how I operate as well. And they are already using a zenithal highlight. So this is a tactic used in a good majority of miniature painting. It helps set the light tones so that when you paint over with one color, a portion of it will already be lighter than the rest. So this is as if the sun was hitting it from the side, and it's already doing the work for us, making my job a lot easier. So I could be really cheap, quick, and easy, and just kind of use some very wet paint. as in that when I touch it, it's going to have the kind of watery base, almost like a wash, and just kind of quickly done. But I am actually going to do a halfway decent job of making this look good. I also would like to do a little bit of airbrushing. We'll see. I haven't done airbrushing in a while. Not sure how it will work with this kind of armor plating, but we'll give it a shot. So we're going to go with a dark blue. We're going to lighten all the way up until we have our semi-final result, and then we'll do all the fine details of the armor work. We do want to go with kind of the gold trim, which I'm very, very happy with this new Vallejo Wicked liquid gold. Yeah, Wicked liquid gold. That's what it actually is. I'm from Maine. So this is beautiful. That is actually how we did our little gold statue, kind of Romanesque, you know, signature of which army unit you are. So I'm going to get more of these liquid golds because I really like this. Hopefully most of my other paints have all dried and thawed out. They were in storage for quite a while and they started freezing on me. So yeah, fun stuff. Let me think. I believe that covers it. So we'll give it a shot with the airbrush first. I've not used it in a while. And we're going to end up muting the microphone just because it is an airbrush and also has a little generator here to the left to pressurize. So sit back, enjoy the music, and watch me work. Watch me work. All right, well, I guess since I haven't even put them on a base yet, if you've never used poster tack or blue tack, stuff's amazing. Hopefully this isn't dry and junk. But this is what you stick onto the tops of bottles. It really lets you have an easier time working. Since I won't need gold, I'll go ahead and put it on this one. You can also use a little bit of hot glue, which I might also do if this fails. Kind of like kneading clay and get it worked together. This is what you would put on the walls to stick a poster to and not ruin your wall, but it ruins the poster because there are oils in it, and if you have a paper poster, I hope you don't love it because you're gonna hate it after. All right. There. Don't want to I can already feel him wanting to separate somehow. Okay. So I will remember this. Ooh, yep. That's why. Huh. Okay. We're gonna go to hot glue because that almost took him off the base. There's not much glue holding him down, so I'm gonna fix that as well while the hot glue gun warms up. Good to know. Hopefully if you're enjoying the music, it is from Artlist, which covers all copyright needs because I have complete licenses to play all of this music, and it is so. I really love it. Yep. Honestly, can't recommend it enough. I do pay for the subscription for it. So maybe one day if this channel starts making some money, it'll kind of cover that. But this channel is designed for me to have fun and do what I enjoy doing. It's not meant to be costly. Or I mean, money making rather. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, let's do very little of this. But this is a brush on. Still working on the camera angle too, so I apologize. It's not super great. Poor little dinosaur. He was gonna fall off his pet. Second, but wait for the hot glue gun to warm up. Suppose we can start looking at colors. So we need dark blues first. Ultramarine blue. We really want to stick to the whole adventure of the worlds. Yeah, got Azul Escort. Oh, dark blue. Okay, that's easier for me to understand. I don't speak Spanish, sadly. Let's see. Is this aquamarine? Ultramarine. Oh, okay, it's the same. Gotcha. I don't actually know which one's darker, so we will have to find out. Vibrant color. And we can lighten this up with color white. Where is my white? Drag paint. No, I have more. Oh, matte white. There it is. Okay. He's almost ready. Let's wait for the other part. And where is my trays? Here we go. Don't judge me for my paint tray. Yeah, it's due for a clean. How long have I been painting minis? Great question. Minis specifically, like these guys, only since 2020. When the pandemic hit and I had nothing better to do. So I bought a 3D printer and painted hordes of miniatures. That's when I was addicted to watching Boy Like Hobby Time. What was it? Maniac? Paint Maniac? I don't remember his call. Boy Like Hobby Time got me into this. And then Dark Magic Craft was one of my big ones for watching how to make these things. So Jeremy, if you ever see this, thank you so much for making up my last 10 years. But yeah, before that, I would say I had been painting like little models. That was a kid. So things like, Star Wars, ships and things like that, car models, World War II planes, that sort of thing. They were not very good. But then once I got out of high school, I didn't end up getting around to doing anything. So it really wasn't until the pandemic that I got back into even just painting. Oh wow. You know what I need next is one of the vibrator shakers for this paint shaker. These are not pretty. Oh, well loved. Yeah, the that one's the most loved one. This isn't half bad. They're only like 60 cents, and if anything, it shows me what the paint looks like on top of other paints. So, don't hate me. Sir. Not happy after they were frozen. Okay, that these are not. Right, that one actually isn't too bad. Ultramarine blue though, that was a new one. I know this one should go. Note to everyone else: do not throw your paint where it can freeze. That's a big mistake on my part. I think after this video stream tonight, I am gonna go buy one of those paint vibrators because this sucks. I hate shaking these things. Okay, so these two guys good. Carson, how's the volume balance between the music and my voice? Is everything okay on that? Shoot. Get the cap Yeah, kinda. It's like a rubber band that holds onto the paint and then just, and it basically will get all like the watery mix. Kind of hard to see. I'll show you in a second. Um, there we go. This makes it a hell of a lot better. You always need a Leatherman. It is the best tool in the world. Every person should own one. That one I've had for almost 20 years, thanks to my father. Best Christmas gift ever. Music's fine. All right, cool. Thank you. Because I am not wearing headphones, which, as you know, I hate wearing headphones when we play D&D. So it's just music playing on the computer, but I have my Yeti mic over here set up, so I think you guys are able to hear me just fine. These paints are old as hell. Dental picks, also the last thing you think you'd ever need, but they are amazing, especially for terrain making. That worked. All right, my white is. Okay, cool. I don't speak very loud, especially when I'm crafting. I don't know if anybody would actually care to listen. Yep, they're pocketed. Okay, well, one day I will do a paint cleaning session. Just clean paint. All right. How's it hot glue gun? I can smell it now. Clean works. You know, if you guys had actually decided to adopt one of those dinosaurs, I probably could have been painting one for you guys. If you decided you needed an animal companion way back when, in our D&D campaign, my players, as Floral Lion is going to be excited about, maybe. There were 3 baby dinosaurs that they rescued, and they could have become pets. But no, nobody wanted a baby dinosaur. They even tried to have one follow them for several days, and still no. Well, yeah, but it would have been really cool. I know we don't meet in person, but like, you never know. I could have sent it to one of you. Also, I just jealously wanted to make a dinosaur. But now I have an entire army of dinosaurs. So oh, we'll be fine. Hopefully that will be too. Okay. Whew. Yeah, say with the airbrush because you haven't done yours yet. Well, what are you waiting for? No, it is a little stressy. I get you. All right, so these are the good 2 ones. This is the good white. All right. Actually, it may not be that loud. Here, let me do a test. So, since you're listening, let me know how this sounds. And I'm sorry if it's very, very loud. How's that? It'll take you a second to type, don't worry. Oh, you can't even hear the airbrush. Okay, cool. Because literally, like, the mic is here up a little ways, and then the airbrush generator is like just off to the side. So I thought it would be too loud. That's great. Okay. I need my airbrush thinner. Okay. Sacrificial brush. All right, this will be fun. I haven't done airbrushing in a long time. Yeah, if it's too loud, let me know, and I'll mute the mic because honestly, I don't know what else to do. too much in the way of my arm, but yeah, that should work. Okay. I'll go with this, I believe, is the darker blue. If not, we'll find out real soon. So the trick with airbrushing is you only need a few drops, but you want to get it in there. So I missed the first couple of drops. We're only doing a mini, it doesn't take very much. A couple of drops of paint thinner, because this is a very thick paint. Usually it's for hand brushing, but it's very easily converted. It is convertible to another use. We're gonna do it. Now you can buy airbrush paints themselves that are already watered down. So as you can kind of tell, it's kind of liquidy, which is perfectly fine. And now I'm painting my nails. And that actually helps to spread the coating easier. So what I'm going to do here is, you'll see, I will test it on the paper towel first before I spray onto the mini. This works better if I have something flat against it. Tip box. Yeah, basically like thin nail polish. Start with little circles, slowly pull it back. My airbrush is also fairly old. I also may not have put it back together correctly. A little bit. Oh, might have it tight. Ah, yeah, that might have been it. That fixed it. Come on. Oh, now I'm going to do a little bit of circle here and there. Alright, air's coming out. Well, we may not get to use the airbrush today. That would be my needle, though. I know. It's been a while also since I've used an airbrush, so... Oh, aha! We got it! We got it! Alright. You had a problem, I was able to fix the issue. There we go. Put on my Pumat Soul voice. Little test, make sure I got my thickness on, so it's kind of a nice light blue. The further I pull back, the thicker it gets. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. And then I still have quite a bit in there, so I'm actually going to add a little more. Where I kind of wish I had another bright light. So I'm going to add a little more blue, because I think it's going to take more than what I have in there to finish that. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of black to this, too. Not nearly dark enough. 5 drops. And by the way, you don't have to have special... if anyone's ever told you, like, oh, should I get army painter? Should I get Vallejo? Should I get yada yada yada? No, just get whatever's affordable, whatever's in your budget. Honestly, I've not found them make a difference yet. It's just if you end up freezing it, like I do, that kind of sucks. Some of my paints are failing because they really need to be shaken out. Ooh, yep, no black is fine. Okay, settle down there. All right, off camera, adding the black drops. Like it's pressurized. Yeah, exactly. Dishwasher rinse. That's another good option. Yep. I've seen that one used before. Um, that's also really good for just making overall washes, which I usually try to do myself. This may have gotten too dark. Cool. Actually, that's fine. The funny thing about miniature painting and diorama painting is that you want stark difference in color. You'll see how much darker this is next to this light blue that I just made. But that's okay. We're going to layer it up. That's the whole intention. So spray off of where you want to airbrush and then go up to where you want to airbrush. Starting light. Working my way heavier. It's going to take a second for the paint to mix. But it is much darker. And as you can see, it's a much darker blue, lighter blue. Without black, with black. So I am going to add one more drop of blue. I want to bring that back up a bit. And then we should be fine. And the cool thing is, if I have extra paint, all I have to do is just add a little bit of white, lighten it up. No need to wash it all out and change it and all that kind of fun stuff. Unless you're changing absolute colors, that's the only part that does suck. Yeah, it's definitely darker, which is what that book shows. So, right. Get this set again. It was a little, probably too much black, but that's okay. Sorry, you're trying to catch me around the bottom of the camera here. So hopefully you still get a good lighting angle. Pop this guy out first. More light. There we go. All right, that's a good shot. Perfect. All right, so the other benefit is since we have the zenithal highlight, even with the darker blue, it's still going to be lighter on here than it will underneath, because that's also darker. That's why we have so much darker color underneath for the zenithal. So it's still going to be half as much work as kind of what I was hoping for, or what I would have been doing otherwise. So do very, very light covering. Make sure my airbrush is going. And then we're just going to do a light color. Because it's hard for me to tell, I have to actually keep checking on the paper towel to make sure I'm not going too dark or too light. We're almost there with the first. Get in the arms there. Go. Give him a pedicure. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, so I apologize. Alright. Cool. So it is a very subtle blue. Kind of hard to see. I'm going to turn music back on. There we go. Looks good so far. Yes, it is still a mini, so I'm happy with it. I know what you meant. Let me go ahead and dump out some of this. I think it did get a little too dark. And here's an interesting idea. So get it all mixed up. Have a spit bucket, basically, if you do want to change some of the color. This is my junk bucket. Kind of swirl it, mix it, get it all out. Basically, we're going to try to mix it all out so I can get a lighter color. There we go. Now we're going to add some of that actual blue back in. There's that darker color we're looking for. Probably kind of hard to see, but you can actually see there the blue that we have now versus the blue we just put on. So, same idea. So get all that nasty blue out of there. What are you doing, buddy? Ooh. Go right over. That's a happy little accident. Still not good. Tighten that back one down. That's probably what it was. There we go. Okay, much better. Good. Good. Sure. Okay. There we go. Try to get the angle to match again. I really don't want to do this without the airbrush. Why are you being a brat? It's because I didn't take that down. That works just fine now. Alright, must be that nut needs to be tightened next time I disassemble this. Okay. Hmm. The angle of my airbrush? Oh my god, this sucks. I can't understand why it's doing this. There we go. Alright, starting to see more of the blue come through. There we go. Now the airbrush is behaving. Much better. Now I can see the friggin' blue. So the closer you get to it, the more dense the color. The further away from you are, the less intense the spray. So if you want to think of it that way, you want to ease off certain areas, just pull it back. Alright, good. Got more blue on there, finally. More lighting for where I'm heading. Cool. Okay. So we've got the blue. Let's go ahead and bring out the color a little bit lighter. And then I think we'll do some highlights after that. So this is going to become quite a bit more light. We're going to add a couple dashes of white. Good. Almost at the end of the blue, so there won't be a lot of white anymore. Start with a little, it can be a lot. Gonna kind of do the zenithal highlight with it. That way the dark blue stays in the dark blue. So it's almost like we're doing a reverse zenithal. This is already looking much, much better. Focus. A little bit better. Don't be afraid if it gets too bright. So I'm actually going to add a little more white to really bring out a more stark, a more stark contrast. The more stark the contrast, when we add washes later, it'll look 10 times better. The wash does half the work. It's almost like the reverse of a zenithal highlight. Super handy. Alright. So much better. All right. So, I'll show you in a minute, but nearly there. Cool. I'm very happy with that. Check the reference book too to see how on top of the color we are. We don't get any paint on Jeremy's book. Thank you, Jeremy, for letting me borrow the book. So the way they do it in the book is they are using brushes. The best part about using a DSLR camera, I can actually change the ISO. So they started with a dark blue, worked their way up. They highlighted the edges, which we're going to do next to make it even brighter, even more stark contrast. Be okay with that. Trust the process. So we're at about this point here. Next, we're going to do some smaller tone. This is where we're going to do maybe some watered down area. Maybe even color a couple of semi-neutral colors, like maybe some slight green. And then we'll also go ahead and start painting the actual instrument, which they have some sorrow. Apparently they're called. Really cool. Oh, apparently they use, I don't know, nickel. Is that why it looks oxidized? Oh. Okay. That's okay. When you're painting, don't forget to hydrate. Okay. First, I realized that the light I put is next to the microphone, which is harder for you to see. Okay. So next, let's go ahead and try some of those undercoating colors. All right, now I have full range. Let's go with a little bit of a turquoise. I think that might help bring out a little bit of that color. Thousand Suns Blue. I don't know what that looks like, but yeah. Ooh, dinner. What'd you make me? Really nice color. I'm gonna add a little bit of the blue though. Tilapia and rice. That is still good. It's healthy. It's affordable. I don't see anything wrong with it. So what I did was I added just a little bit of airbrush thinner to make it a little bit liquidy. In a sense, we now it's nail polish. Brush a little bit, almost gonna be like a dry brushing. area because this is a nice thin paint and it's only going on the under flesh. Which this would have been a lot easier if you disassembled, but that's okay. Now it is kind of will add some depth to his arms and the rest of his body. Especially for the undercoating armor color. Undercoating. I'm talking about like, the softer parts of his skin tone. We're adding tone basically. Which is what it said in the book. So I feel confident in what we're doing. Need a little more light. Grab my water bottle. Yeah, it works. Okay. Yeah, so still trying to. There we go. Okay. How to make it. What? Oh, you know what? Let me just turn off the actual focus. Doi! Thank you for catching on to that. Switch to manual focus. So if I'm painting here, should be. It looks like focus. Okay. Thank you for catching that. I'm also someone who needs a lot of light in order to see, and I already feel like I don't have enough light. So it's becoming very difficult for me to tell the difference between colors. Usually where my eyesight starts to fail me. But that is also why I trust in the process. As long as I can make it stark, I can see the difference. And I know when I put my wash on, everything is going to come up. I hope. Problem is I need to stay right here on the X so that you can actually see what I'm doing. There's a lot that's involved in streaming. Pay attention to your camera. Pay attention to the chat. That tells you when you're doing it wrong. Help with that. First to that. Now we're going to work on his outer armor. Outer armor is going to be a little bit different than this bluish. I'm going to start pulling in some of those keratin browns, kind of like a, I don't want to say thumbnail, but a little bit more of color in that. Pick out what color. I have a lighter front, darker back. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's not what I was going for. Lighter front, darker back. Okay. Go back with a bit more of the turquoise. Oh, actually, you know what? No, let's do. Wait, this is brown. Brushing? We're going to use these. What it does. Nah, that really did move in. That's okay. I'll look into seeing what that is. Air blue. We'll add a bit of the darker blue in the green. We'll add it to the airbrush though. Light. It is a nice. There we go. That's kind of harmful. Oops. I hope I turn the air compressor back on. Go. Alright, well that'll help with the dry brushing of white since it's already lighter. We can use the darker wash to darken him back up. We'll get the recesses all nice and dark. Looks so much more natural. A little blue here, but we're going to lighten that up in a minute. He looks mean as... You gotta love airbrushes. Oh man. Okay. So now that I know I would have gone with a darker green. Like I said, this is a test guy, and he is bigger, so it's easier to see what I should be aiming for. And you know what? Spot is where the base of this needs to be, so that he's always in focus for you guys. That'll help me. Okay, so I want to start painting the weapon and some of the accoutrement. So let's do that. Let's do something fun and technical. That we do. Pick up them big boys. Wait out. Back. My arm camera. Alright, let's go with some browns. Leather. What color cultist robe is that? Disgusting slime. Let's start with this. Some millennial beige. I do have a wet palette. I just never used it, so one of those later. also kind of being done like a dry brush. Because again, I want this to use the zenithal highlight. Basically make the lighter and the darker areas for us. We don't have to work harder. Okay, also put a lot of paint. I'm also being delicate because I put too much paint and it could splatter onto the nearly finished mistakes happen. So it's all practice. Don't beat yourself up over it if you don't get it on the first try and miss. Um, my eyesight's bad anyway, so I'm already knowing that I'm going to make mistakes, but thankfully, mistakes can come out in the wash. Almost literally, when we do the dark washes, it'll hide any of the little blemishes you made. So speed painters, when they do paint this spinny in 30 minutes, they rely on that. Um, they rely on hiding their mistakes with dry brushing and washing. So learn that trick on how to dry brush and use washes, and you can hide anything you want. I can already tell I'm getting the edge of his hand because, well, I'm using a fat brush rather than a thin brush like I should be. Mm-hmm. He's a good guy. He's stuck there. He's a good guy. Fairly happy with it. Not overly difficult. I would like it to go a little darker. Really didn't. I went to the, you know, craft stores and just bought whatever had a good variety. Um, you're gonna mess up your first set of brushes, so don't go spend a lot of money. Um, that being said, this brush I'm still using is probably one of the first brushes I ever bought from a set, and I just know how the bristles work. I know when it's gonna kind of have one hair that sticks out at the end, which can either be a help or a hindrance, and I just work around it. So I didn't get rid of it because it's a brush I know. Do I take care of it? Nope. It is beaten to hell. It is fluffy. It is wiry. It is an unhappy brush. But when it comes to doing eyes and whatnot, those I have special brushes for. So I do have just finer point. They don't have to be expensive. Like this is already a terrible. Let me see. There we go. A terrible treated tip brush. But I have several more that I actually just bought for when I do nicer parts of the stream. I say they're nicer as in the tips are not destroyed yet. Got fancy wooden handles. I don't know. It was on Amazon on sale, so that's why I bought these. But they got some really, really, really fine point tips. So getting eyeballs and whatnot, which I will need to use tonight. I'll pull those guys out. Don't spend a lot of money. You don't need to. Yeah, they're a little fancy. I'm just gradually darkening this because I don't like how light it was. It wasn't translucent, but I am spending a little more time on this than I should because it did not go dark enough fast enough. I mean, I took too much time, so it's my fault. Pretty happy with that. That looks like realistic wood because we used a zenithal highlight. Yeah. So I am thinking gold too much. This guy. As far as what I'd probably be made of bone. I'm thinking of going with this beige color, which I already have out. Creating a beige weapon and then actually using a really cool wash to make it look like old bone, um, beaten around, um, even like covered in blood kind of thing. And don't worry about these recesses. We're going to use a wash to fill in that with darkness. And then you'll eventually get faster as you do more minis. So it has been a while since I've painted some minis, so I'm a little rough. As far as knowing how fast I should be going. But kind of remembering as I start doing it more and more. This paint is not happy. It's almost too watery. It's like I didn't mix it enough, which is very likely. Also, sorry, tonight's playlist is kind of short. I threw together some kind of dino adventure themed songs from Artlist just before I started casting. So there's only like 10 or 11 songs. But it's been easier to airbrush. I don't want to clean up my airbrush right now. So, there. Deal with it. Always clean it out when you're done painting, though. You will hate yourself for the rest of your life the next time you go to use it. Which was me before using the stream. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I would love to. Yeah, send me your minis. So that's actually part of what this stream is going to be about. I'm actually kind of glad you brought that up. Now I can start talking about the stream. So Realm Forge was an idea that I had to basically bring some of my life, some joy back to my life, in the sense of creativity. And I needed to hold myself accountable or I'd never do it. It's kind of like doing the laundry. You say you're going to do it, but you don't do it unless you give yourself a reason to do it. Like you're out of clothes and you have to go to work. So for me, the Realm Forge is a way for me to get back into terrain crafting, which I friggin' love doing. It is so creative. If you watch the previous stream, you'll see how I took a block of foam and turned it into that. A beautiful diorama, in my opinion. Probably some of the best stonework I've done as far as ruins go. My flocking is not great. I don't do it enough. But the idea was I want people to send me their minis. I want people to send me their armies, because there's a million people that paint minis, but if you have a million of them, what do you do with them? Where do you display them? You put them in a box. Nobody ever sees them. Why not put them out on display? But not just on a, IKEA shelf or, insert name brand from Amazon here. I want to create dioramas for people's minis. I have the problem where I have too much material for dioramas and not enough dioramas to put my minis on. So that was kind of the idea of this channel. I want people to send me their minis to create them a diorama. This just happens to be a very large army to start with, but I have one friend who is going to be sending me their Zoids model that they had done. Chris, if you're watching, so excited to see that because it is going to be a sci-fi based diorama for it. And I am all about Realm Forge. If you look at my logo, you'll see that there's a cityscape and that there is also a fantasy medieval scape, kind of like this jungle area. So the cityscape means, Blade Runner, Star Wars, any of that kind of vibe. So it can come from any realm. I will forge a diorama for it. So yes, I would love that. I want the community to be a part of my streams. I want them to be a part of what's helping me create things. So yes, please send me your character minis. I would love to paint them. That's pretty darn good. Oh, I need to get this. Oh, the rings are going to be really freaking tough. I forgot about that. And painting minis does bring me joy. Don't just say. This is a lot of fun. I'm a little out of practice, but that's why we're doing it on this guy before I start doing an entire army's worth. Make sure, one, that I don't just paint a bunch and find out Jeremy, the gentleman who gave me his army to paint and his blessing. I want to make sure he likes it before I go and do it all. Make sure I've got what he has in mind, because I do want to take some of that into play. So, if you have an idea for your mini, if you have an idea for your diorama, give me some guidance. That's what I want. As you can tell, I don't have to paint it all fully into a solid color. This is not Photoshop. We're not trying to nitpick something. Yeah. I'm very excited about it. I'm glad you like that idea. Thank you. Alright, see, this is where it comes into play, where this brush I hardly ever use except to do this one damn thing. So I'm gonna zoom in and have you guys watch me do this. About as good as it's gonna get. Because I know this brush so well, that one hair that sticks at the end, I know how it behaves. Again, thankfully, the washes will help hide any of the overbrushing. Kinda? Actually, it's not a bad idea. I have a magnifying glass that is attached to a soldering alligator set. Since I will be doing LED work later. Not with this particular diorama, maybe a part of it. Not that I ever use the magnifying glass on that thing for soldering anyway, but that's the only thing. I don't have enough room to put more armatures to hold things on this table. That becomes kind of tough. Like my microphone is actually being held right now over here by a those flexi arm things that hold your camera, like your phone rather, to take a picture. And my microphone is just light enough. It doesn't bend it out of the way or fall over, because my actual DSLR that you are watching me paint on is about 4.5 pounds and is actually on my mount that the microphone used to be on. So one day when I can afford a full-on gantry setup, that'll be spectacular. There can be a top-down view that you can watch me painting. It can hold the microphone. It can move additional lighting to actually be in front of my eyes, so I can see what I'm looking at. Now, I don't know about some of you guys, but I know a lot of people get particular about their armies I've seen. Okay. The Necron army was the first Warhammer army I ever painted. I actually put micro LEDs in their rib cages, so they all light up from inside and look very technological. I really loved them. They were cool. I've never played with them, but they look neat. Take a wet brush and it'll take off the semi-wet paint and fix. And with these super special brushes, I do give them a clean, and I try to keep them as in shape as they were, because they just need to stay on point like that. Wipe it down. And then I'll just set it aside to finish drying. Cool. All right. So next we have his necklace, which, if we're sticking with the rest of the that kind of gold color in the back, probably be what we'll do. Future gift ideas. Oh no. Oh no. I think he's got another one down there. So he's got his wristbands. He's got his armband. He's got a wide band. He's got another armband. I imagine cloth and then like gold. No, it's actually a forged metal that's going around. There's two like little bollards either side. Huh. Could go with a copper. Although I like the green tone color they had in the photo. Maybe the armbands will be a green. This will be a gold with a brown, because that'll be a nice offset color. Or it could be a black, maybe a red. A red would look nice. Red, blue, green, gold. And maybe another green coppered with green, kind of like oxidizing. Yeah, copper oxidized because of all the sweat and everything on them. Okay, so what did I say? There's a lot of colors. Let's get. So we know we're gonna need gold. No, it says it right on there. Oh, bronze. Let's see how bronze behaves. You have green tone. Could use on gold. Make. Oh, come on. Make a mess. Oh, yeah. All right, cool. I do have some silvers. The mage just made something that smells amazing. There's a chaotic red and a wasteland soil. What color do we want? I think, you know what, we're going to see the two of these because I've not used these colors yet. Wasteland soil. I don't know how to try these colors. It's got so much. Alright, chaotic red. I'll put you over one of the later blues because that's ooh, like a like a bloody purple or bloody maroon. I don't know. And the other one's just a little bit lighter. Huh. Which I like more. I think I'll go with the lighter color because when we do the wash, it's going to get darker anyway. Go ahead and do that. We'll actually use our same brush. See, this is the cool thing. So about your thumbnail. If you've been using the same paints that you've been testing on here, you can actually see how colors look on your thumbnail before you go ahead and put it on your mini. So here we go. Again, because I know this brush, I do very, very little bits. And be careful what kind of paints you use. Obviously, it's your skin. Take care of your skin. I've inhaled more than enough spray paint and whatnot from doing dioramas, so I don't expect to live forever. But, you know, safety first, you can. I do have a full-on 3M filtration mask when I use spray paints now. And I do have a high capacity, high flow air filtration system that actually can connect right next to me. Spray paints as well. But it doesn't affect the dog and all that sort of stuff. Okay, this is. I might have to take this off camera for just a second. Sorry. Let's see this at all. A little bit of rope that goes under his chin armor. Can't see it with the light I have. Footage. I feel better about that. Oh, wait, did he have other footage? Bar. Oh, he's got one around his tail. Yep. Alright, we got another one. Alright, this is extra light for me, not necessarily you guys. I wonder if these wrappings are like awards or something. Kind of like how the Space Marines I know have little ribbon, wax ribbon seals. Sorry, I combined letters when I started talking. What these are. Good thing is because this is a darker color, I can still lighten it up a little bit after. Looks good. So I'll have contrast when I use. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that candy red almost. Candy apple red. Faded. Hey. Good. All right. Threads are done. Let's go on to whatever those are going to be, which I think we said we were going to do like a dark bronze. Actually, you know what? Gunmetal gray. No, that'd be a stone. I don't want to do stone. Yeah, let's go with gold. How tall is the mini? Great question. Have a measurement somewhere. Mental measurement tool. That's what I meant to say. This is my new layout. It's only like 4 days old since the first stream, so yeah, where everything is. And I threw everything around last time. Oh, yeah, okay, that's smart. Assuming this is inches? Sure. It is 2.5 inches tall. Or 2.5 things. Yeah. Not as tall as I thought he was. I thought he was taller than that. I did not think about my mat, so thank you. Now we're gonna try liquid gold. I think you're gonna love this. So freaking nice. I do have turbo dork. I kind of want to play with. It's silver. This can of gold was $7, but it is so worth it. Oh, it's so nice. So the thing about reflective metals is that you need the finest mica powder, basically. You need the finest grain of pigment. Otherwise it comes out chunky and ugly. Which, like, this is not fine. It is terrible. It looks like a paste. So I only use it when I'm brushing a whole big area of it, because it's cheap and it's like $1. This, like half the size, is extremely thin and is very nice. Ooh, that was way more gold than I needed. And sometimes all you need to do is just pick it right off the lid. No need to like dip in like I just did. That was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, okay. Well, this one kind of looks like your the fella that you left in the inn. So Floraline in our game revived. No, actually used resurrected. I don't know what it was. Basically, a lizard folk fella turned into a zombie and brought him to town, carrying all our gear, and left him in the tavern room that we rented, and then forgot about him while we were off having adventures. So that was fun. Tavern innkeeper still hasn't let that go. Why? Oh my god, it's like liquid gold. It's really hard to see. Goes on just like liquid gold. That's fine freaking gold. Damn. Oh, I'm so happy with this. Yeah, that's reanimate dead. That's right. That's right. It was an intense day. It was much choice. I know he's got another one in there. It's attached to a bollard. Let me go ahead and get this slight light away. Eat it. You can see on that back foot another kind of pressed against it with the brush, and that almost. I know I'm going to be painting over that gold spot. I'm not terribly worried that I missed a little bit there. But ooh, that gold looks so good. Oh, it shines. Ah, I'm definitely going to have to go get more. This Vallejo is... He's the shiniest boy. Still haven't decided how to do the other ones. Oh, hi, Kiri. You awake now from your nap? Ready to build it. Kiri, it's waiting for break. We'll take. I want to get the rest of the accoutrement painted. And then we'll take a short break before we get to washes and final highlighting. So, ooh, yeah, you'll want this Vallejo liquid metal rather. Having used all the shiny metal stuff I've had in the past, this by far is the best thing I've ever bought. But yeah, $6.99. So. But it is so worth it. And you obviously didn't need very much. Like, the dabbing was from the back of the cap after I shook it. So it should last you a while unless you're doing a huge thing. And in that case, I would not recommend using that. I would get cheap stuff. Basically, it just needs to be table ready. But this is a very fancy piece for a customer, in a sense. All right. Now we've got to do the armature things. I haven't really decided what to... You know what? Let's give the copper a try, because I don't have any of the copper colors. I also don't have any silver, so maybe we'll try some silver. So now you get a chance to see how ugly this stuff is. I mean, it already looks like paste. Which, I don't know. Oh. Yeah, and it can work. Like, this is actually behaving better than I thought it would. But if I want that really, really nice color, I'm glad I used the nice gold. Like the jam. Some good jam. Oh, amethyst would be nice. Even what was it, ruby? Oh, sapphire. Ooh, sapphire. Yeah, I have a couple of really cool colors that I enjoy. After this stream, I'll find a photo of the necromancer army I did. I'll show you that really nice technical green. Yeah, I don't take care of my but as you can tell, I beat them up. Citadel has some really freaking cool brushes. This one is one of my favorites. It's called a technical glow. Um, it makes things look so freaking cool. If you have a lighter color base and then you paint over it, it's like a radiation green. Mixes tell. Oh man, this stuff is so cool for sci-fi things. So I want to find more of those for when we do a sci-fi diorama. Rolly bug, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. We're getting to the point where we're almost ready for washes and whatnot and highlights. So we're just getting the finer details taken care of, and then we'll take a short break and then come back and do the final bits of the wash and dry brushing. Good time. Ooh, yeah, those could both be really good. And you know what? If I get you guys over here in person to do a big moment in our campaign, maybe there will be a black dragon full of acid. What is living if you don't almost die again? You know, D&D gonna make it challenging for you. Live a little. D&D was easy. Everybody would be playing. Yeah, I need a pointier brush. The good thing is that no one's gonna be looking at the underside of this, so. Alright, at least I can get away with that. This copper stuff, we're going to put a little bit of green on. We're going to kind of splotch it on in a minute. And that'll give it its, I think that's a freaking frog. I think it's, yeah, it is a frog. Why is there a frog in this diorama? That's so weird. I only just noticed that there's a frog on the base. Frogs are cool. I just did not expect there to be a frog. If I remember correctly, I think Jeremy had told me that the special commanders or whatever had actual like ground terrain people things or additives. So this must be like a special commander, which would it would explain why there's like so much metal decor on them. Oh, really, Bug? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Sorry, I don't have my Twitch chat up to look at, but I got the notification on my phone, so I appreciate that. Thank you. This is all just for fun, but hey, you know what? If it turns out to be something people love and want to watch more of, I'm happy to keep going. This channel, I hope to stream once or at least twice a week, and then it's also on my my YouTubes. Twitch doesn't like it if you advertise the other things, so there are VODs on this and the other one, which you can find on my About page as well. I also make shorts, so if you don't want to watch the whole 4-hour video or skip ahead, you can actually just watch the shorts. Okay, I think I've got all of the fancy bits and painted. So I think we can splotch it, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back to the wall. Oh, you know what? We gotta do his mouth and stuff too, so we'll do that. All right. Let's splotch it with the green, which we're gonna do. Oh, that's right. We're gonna do the green tone. All right, so we'll just do the eyes. Eyes and the tongue. Then we'll do the. Gotta get the. Now we're gonna need the really, really nice new brushes. The eye. It's really challenging. Like peeling away the new plastic. World's smallest freaking eyeball. Make you all watch this with me. This is where I might want a magnifying glass. No pressure. No pressure. Need more light. Of course the paint didn't stick to the brush. Why would it? That would be really silly. Terrible, but might be too close with the camera. That's probably why it's not super sharp. That one turned out a lot better. I'm happy with that. I know it's hard to see for you guys, but in the final reveal, it'll look a hell of a lot better. Too bad on the camera view, though. Okay. I mean, it stands out. You'll definitely be able to tell where his eyes are. Yeah, that's hella spooky. Okay. And then immediately put the cap back on to protect the tip of that brush. That is an eyeball brush. All right. I need to get the tongue. Where's my? Ooh, This stuff. So this stuff kind of looks like goo. This stuff is really neat. Basically looks like blood. Which is why it's going to go on his tongue. Technical red I've had a very long time, and I only ever use in little tiny dabs. For that little bit of extra blood. Works great. Okay. I think that covers everything that needs to be technical, like, fine detail. I think I'll put this gray silver, kind of looks like a pin that holds it together. Another pin there. And then, yeah, I think we'll come back and start the washes and the final dry brushing. We'll paint the base, we'll get the frog, and yeah, then we'll come back. So, actually, you know what? Let's do the funky green while I'm here. And we're already looking at that frog, so let's do that first. So let me shake this up. Elysian air. I think this will also go really well. Sorry. Yeah. You're wicked funky. I mean, he's like a poison frog, you know? Try to get the focus, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna give him a base color. This is air, so it actually is meant for airbrushing. Sorry, it's a little bright for you guys, but you can see how bright it is. Go too thick, because then it'll cover all of the contours of his tiny little 3D printed face. Or stamped. I don't actually know how Workshop, whoever they are that makes the Warhammer minis, I don't actually know how they make their plastic. If it's form fitted or 3D. It's probably not 3D printed. That wouldn't be practical for that many minis they have to sell and make. It's probably mold injection. Alright, the little Froggo is painted green. That is really hard to get in focus. Sorry, guys. Alright. Just need a minute to dry. Actually, while I'm doing that, let me give him a couple speckles of black. Just to have something. A spotted green frog. Kind of hard for you guys to see, but it does look pretty good. This will probably ruin him. That's okay. So he has to dry before I put the funky green on. So I think this is the perfect time to take our break. Good. So I'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll wrap this guy up. And I think we'll call it a night after that. I guess we're only going to get to one. That's fine. If you're enjoying it. So I'll be back soon. Okay, we're back. Frog is painted. The funky frog, as Floraline has named him. A little more light so you can see what he's looking like right now. Really hard to see because it's a little detail. Nope, other way. Yeah, he's like that little tiny guy. There we go. Little tiny spots. He's a little deeper. We're gonna make him really happy. Oh, we're gonna put some of that funky green on him, and you'll see what it does. It is so freaking cool. Love this color. Oops, there we go. Love this color. One of their technical thingies from Citadel. I just hope I don't totally destroy our poor little funky frog. You can kind of see there, it kind of changes tone with whatever it's on. Which is basically what we're going for. It's a little wet in that corner, but I'm going to pull it with the brush as I do other spots. And you'll see that this is exactly how washes work. So if you feel like you have too much in a spot, let your brush tip soak it up, and then it will take in what you didn't need there. This is an excellent idea for a wash. Actually, that was all we needed. little funky friend there. He's gonna dry off while we get ready to do the rest of the wall. Really cool. I'm really excited about this. Washes are my favorite part because they hide all of my mistakes. Just kidding. It would help if I could just see what else. Okay. So for washes, we are going to use our green tone, which is going to go on any of the copper bits. They will make it look a little more anodized and old. Use a strong tone one yet, but I love my other ones. So let's do. I'm going to make a custom wash, and I'll show you how to do that. So, custom wash. This is just dry paint, whatever. It's not going to hurt it. Take that. We're going to add some water. Wherever I put my... Oh, of course, it's what's holding the other light. Yeah, second. Probably could have done it with paint too, but I've been using water for this for the most part, so... Could actually take that now that I think about it. There we go. More than enough water. Alright, we've got water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of black paint. Actually, I'll probably add a drop of black with some dark blue. We want to keep it that kind of ultramarine color. Ooh. There we go. Put crusties in. I had too much water in there. That's okay. You can also do this with alcohol inks, and I would recommend alcohol inks versus oil, at least until you understand how oil works. Oil washes are phenomenal, but they take much longer to dry. And I'll find Gosh, but I know in case what do you want to know about Kiri? My dog. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, jump up. Get up there. Get on the bed. No. I'm doing my own thing, Dad. There we go. A nice wide brush that can soak up a lot, and you can dab it to basically kind of dry it out and then soak up more if you need to remove. Well, you'll see here in a minute. And what I like to do is test it on the brim of a cup. And as long as it kind of like washes away pretty quickly, you can kind of see a clear streak to the white, you know you should be okay. This is probably a little too thick now, so I'm probably going to add just a dash of thinner. Back and forth on my washes. And you can make your own wash. So if you know, hey, this is the version I like and it works really well, you can keep that. Just seal it up in a glass jar or something like that, and it'll work great. There we go. Nice and watery and runny. That's exactly what we want. That will be our wash. That is going to be our bluish wash for him. So this is going to freak you out, but it's going to be okay. I promise. See, we're going to cover every little bit of him. Let this wash seep into the cracks, crevices, every little drop spot. My dog is having fun with her. Oh man, we missed an armband. Fix that in a minute. So, bring out the details. So here's the part that's really fun. So if you feel like there's a spot that has a little too much, like his eyes, take a brush up to it. It'll soak up extra. Tap it away. Like his eyes. I don't want his eyes getting too dark. I'll dab it over the eyes and it soaks it right up. Soak up the face. That's actually a great example. You can see how it's so wet there. Soaks it right up. It's basically just water. It's a sponge. We're basically doing a sponge effect. So as all those crevices take shape, add a little more to his crown armor here. I want this really well darkened. It's going to set, and then we can dry brush over it. Really give it some extra pizzazz. Get the rock. Also got the ball of his tail. And then the dry brushing, if it looks too muted and too boring, we're going to dry brush it, and that'll make it all come right back. Give that a second. We'll do this, and then I'll put the red on it after. Just get the darker parts dark, which I don't really want to be bloody, so there's a lot going down right now. Stipple the recesses. You can also use a Q-tip to help clean up areas that you want to be brighter. Since we're going for a more muted look, I'm not worried too much about it. I just want to get where it pulls up a little too much. Because what that'll do is it'll actually end up staining the area, and you won't actually get the result you do have to be careful in some spots. I don't know if you guys can hear the big toy she's playing with. Means she already wants to hang out with Dad. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll let that sit for a minute. Let me get this cleaned up. A bit more of a mess than I'm usually doing. Green tone. Oh, that's right. We need to get the other piece of copper done to his armband. Let me do that first. All right, it's only $1 for the craft paints. I don't feel too bad. I looked right at it and said, "Don't forget this," and then I forget it. The thing I do have to be careful on is that some of these areas are still wet. Yeah, see it already. float it over a little bit. As everything's wet, it still takes some time to dry. Soak it back up. Oh, okay. Fix that bottom part of the ring. Kind of hard for you guys to see, but I can see it. I'll fix the top part of the ring. That's better. Okay. Well, now we have the stippling on his ring, so he's fine now. His arm ring. Okay. Except there are 4 folks watching. Hey, thank you for joining in. We're almost done. We're just finishing up a couple of washes, and then we're going to do some highlighting. Anyone who's first time watching this is the Realm Forge. So normally this will be creating dioramas, but since we have already created one, we needed a mini to go in it. Our good friend Jeremy, a DM that I see during the week, created already the Seraphon army, which is basically a dinosaur race, which I am a super fanboy of. So I am super excited to be painting these guys. I don't play Warhammer. I just like painting and building dioramas. So we are going to be doing his entire army that he's commissioned me for, and we are also making scatter terrain to go on his army. So, for example, this was our first stream last Sunday. We created a diorama for you to set your army on. So whether it's scatter terrain, you're putting it out amongst everything, or if you wanted to display it on the shelf, these sit quite nicely on a shelf, and you can actually show your favorite guys that you've had painted. So if you have a ton of minis and you don't know what to do with it, let me know. I will make you a diorama for it. That is the idea of this channel. The Realm Forge, we will be doing both medieval fantasy and we'll also be doing sci-fi. So I am very excited. Some of them may be mostly just, the paint and the gravel and the flocking, or they could incorporate some LED work. So torches could be sci-fi street lighting, kind of a that futuristic punk. Wow, I am blanking on the genre. Blade Runner idea, kind of vibe, that kind of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and finish with the. Where's my strong tone? Oh, that's right. So my other Citadel washes I like. Got a couple of them. Each one has their own kind of reddish hue or brownish hue, which what we want to do is we want to kind of turn this into a bloodish looking kind of vibe, which I think it's this dark oak flesh. And no, this is a darker one. We don't want the darker one. Could be it too. No, that's the grunt fur. That one's going to be darker, and wildwood darker. Okay. That's one. What did I do with my this guy? Okay, cool. Now that that's dried up, go ahead and soak our brush. Go ahead. Ish. The cool thing about this, if we feel like it's too much, is that we can water it down now that the base coat is painted with water, and that'll take off the excess. So this stuff dries faster than the homemade wash, so you have to be a little more direct and quick. this is going to set into the bottoms. Getting that dark tone. And then what we'll do, soak up some of that area. And now, let that start to dry a little bit. I'm going to take some Q-tips, basically remove areas that are going to stay light. These are very old Q-tips, apparently. They don't want to work as well. If your Q-tips aren't working, like mine, you can always just use napkin. It's almost kind of like reverse dry brushing. There's areas that you know you're going to have be lighter than other areas of piece. So areas that are going to be more in contact with something are more likely to be lighter. Kind of like if you go and hold something, there's areas that are going to have wear and tear use, and sometimes might be a lighter color. I don't know why I bothered putting the green tack on it. Green tack was more for me to know where to place him. Okay. Now, on the armbands, we're going to go ahead and use some of that green tone. But I'm wondering if we should spackle on a little bit of rust color first, because that'll help that come out. Kind of like how we did the frog. Great. Not really done this method before, so it'll be a little interesting to see if it actually works. More light to be able to see it. Basically, we're dirtying the copper. This is the green. That's going to make it feel oxidized. Shit. Dang it. I'm always missing that. Doesn't need a lot, just enough to kind of throw off the copper color completely. And even though it's getting muddled, it's actually helping. gold. Could definitely use a bit more black gold. One thing you gotta be careful of is flicking paint onto things. And I flicked paint onto his chest. So he got a couple of black spots on it there. Okay. So we need him to dry. So we can do some to bring back out the highlight. Doing that, how about we paint the face? Since that's going to be the default color the DM asked for, Jeremy asked for rather. I'll wait that to dry. We can go ahead and clean up our mess here. Paint station's a good station. I wish I had black 3.0, that stuff. Solid black would look really nice, but I'm doing this for free. Well, I'm doing this for free for you guys to watch. I'll do that rock justice in a little bit, so don't worry. Just getting paint. I have to do his nails. His nails would be clean, because you'd be using them all the time. Problem I get into when I don't have enough light. I can't see the color tones very well. Since of where I've painted and where I haven't, everything blends in with shadows. I need more light on my end, not just for you guys. Actually, while he's drying, we can go ahead and do nails. I think let's start face. A little bit of strong tone on it. A strong tone with a bit of a yellowish brown tone, which will definitely be good for fingernails, toenails. Never mess with the dinosaur. Your ass. When does it fingernails? Yeah. A little too heavy on that, but that's okay. I'm gonna bring this up to my eyes. I can't see you guys. Be down a second. Hands are not very well defined by the mold itself, so it's not exactly perfect. That's okay. All right, let's put that green tone on the copper. Then we'll do the tone on call it. Music is distracting. There we go. Okay, now I can focus. Yeah, we'll get the green tone on copper, and then we can do the strong tone on the nails. Well, I thought this guy was a test. I definitely learned some things about painting Seraphon. It's been a little while, but I learned how to work with it. Definitely different from D&D minis. They're a little more put together as far as the intricate details, so I'll look for that. Good. Go ahead and get that strong wash done. Get ready for dry brush. This is the only problem with using a wash that somebody else makes, that they do dry a little bit faster. You gotta be much more direct with them and be ready to wipe away if needed. Alright, we're almost done. Another 10 minutes and we can call it. And do some dry brushing after we clean up the workspace. Alright, go ahead and clean up and get ready for the dry brushing, and we'll be good for the night. Always make sure your washes and paints are closed, they don't dry out, or worse, spill all over you when you knock them over. Done that before. Paint rack. How much paint? They all barely fit. Well, they don't all fit. I have tons on the ground. So, yeah, definitely get yourself a bigger paint rack because you're always going to have more paints. And this is why my paint trays are like this, because I don't empty the paint. This is a good test, like I said, as far as learning how to paint the Seraphon army, because there is a ton to paint, and I'd like to make sure I have the process down good before I do a whole batch of them. That's why we're doing this. Alright. This is going to be for up close. This will be for general, which is what we're going to start with. Which, I don't know why I put my paints away, because I'm going to need it. We'll start with a fresh setup. White. Go with a steel elemental bolt. So, to dry brush, dab the ends of a wide bristled brush. Don't have to get a lot on it because you're going to take most of it off. Basically, go ahead and wipe it off on a paper towel until just about nothing shows up. Then bristle the tips, whatever you're trying to give highlights to. easy at first because it will start showing up. We're going to build this up in layers. This is his armor. It's going to have this sort of teal chitin kind of vibe to it. Alright, and we'll gradually start getting lighter. Alright, that's kind of tough for you guys to see. Let me. We want the littlest of white. We don't want a lot. Okay, so it's going to catch the very edges of this chitin armor. It's going to make it really sharp. Now we can actually start doing it to his chest. Now that we're going to use white, balance back most everything else, including his hands and biceps. We'll soon switch to the. So something I'm already learning is that I should have done a much darker base. This is why we do a test of what we really want. Well, maybe we won't need the smaller brush. It's actually getting in pretty darn good. Almost like being an archaeologist. Yeah, where exactly to brush more, where not to brush more. Yeah, Drek does need more armor like this. Yeah, he's looking good, but I'm not 100% happy with him. I think it's because he does need more contrast. So I'm hesitant, but I think I'm gonna put a little more wash on him in some areas, especially now that I've lightened him back up a little bit more. I feel like he needs a tad bit. Yeah, this is still a work in progress, so I think I've learned some things about what I want to do with him. So one thing you can do, since he has a bunch of bony protrusions, if I make those more white, they'll stand out from the rest of the armor. It's actually probably what I'll start using a small brush for. Let me switch over the brush. Kind of like Batman things, more like bone. Yeah, that definitely looks a lot better. Helps it stand out more from the rest of his body as well. Yeah, I think I should have gone with a darker contrast. That's what I'm learning. So, go big, go home, I think is what I'm getting from this. Start strong, work your way back. At least for the way that I paint. Seems like that would have worked out better. You can kind of see how the white helped him stand out a little bit more. I'm actually going to do the same thing with this too. So who knows? Maybe these are actually fallen foes that were also dinosaurs or something of his fellow Seraphon army. That already 10 times made this better. I know I painted that a little too dark. It already looks 10 times better having done the dry brush into it. Much more realistic. Paint your Christmas gifts. No, this year I did not paint any of them. I know. I would have loved to have made yours. I didn't have enough time to do yours in particular. And, well, Matcha's is a shirt, so, I didn't obviously make Matcha's. It's a lot better. Definitely needed to cross those tips of his armor. Oh, that makes him look so much more badass. You gotta love multi-layer highlighting. Ah, I love it. Abs up. There we go. I wanted to bring his abs up a little bit. I mean, I'm happy with him. He looks like a freaking dinosaur if I've ever seen one. I'm gonna do these tips a little bit more. They're not white enough to look like bone or keratin. Hopefully, Jeremy, if you're watching, you're happy with these. um, I'll talk to you about it though. Don't worry. There's some changes I already want to do for the actual army. Having learned from this. Rock base there. Much more rock. Hell yeah. He does look like a lizard man. I mean, he is a lizard man. He's I don't know, part ankylosaur and part gonna eat you sore. Um, so I think that's where we'll call it. Pretty happy with it. Just 1 second to finish cleaning up here, and we'll do a final reveal. Put him on the diorama. You know what? It looks terrible down there. In actual like tabletop. These are fake. Did you already forget? Um, yeah, I'm Cam's friend. It's Kurt. This is the new stream I told you about. You guys were playing some sort of like weird people sock puppet game that I jumped in on. Yeah. You're okay. Don't worry about it. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna lower the camera. Yeah, no, you're good. I thought it was kind of funny actually. All right. Let's see this guy in the diorama. Figure out how to. Best way to focus him is. So I do have one. I'm glad you reminded me. I am just very mad at my camera mount. It wants to swivel. Swivel table. Now I have to refocus again. Thanks, Carson. Oh man, you haven't been able to hear me the whole time? Oh no! I don't know why it wasn't showing. It was muted. Huh? That was weird. Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, entire Seraphon army that we're going to be painting. Sundays will be dioramas, scatter terrain for this army or others who send me minis that they want to have painted. Yeah, I was talking the whole time. I feel like an idiot. I don't know how it got bumped. I'm looking right at my mic. I haven't touched it in forever. Yeah. So that'll be fun to go back on the road. No, I've been here talking the whole time. Like I said, I don't usually talk on stream, so I didn't really know what I was doing. Yeah, no, so I'll recap for you. The Realm Forge is to help people who have minis and know where to display them, or are looking for scatter terrain for their RPGs. So in this case, we have our friend Jeremy, who has an entire Warhammer Seraphon army that he has requested me to paint. I've been commissioned for this, and I'm making him scatter terrain and pieces similar to what you just saw there with our friend here that we painted tonight. This is a diorama I finished on Sunday's stream, both as a display piece and also they are visible, but they're on the other side. And then yeah, so then middle of the week we'll be doing some of the mini paintings since I have an entire army to paint. So yeah, if anyone has minis, I know Lion said that he has some that he would like to have me paint, and I'll make a little diorama for them to sit in. I have a friend who has a Zoids model. I think it's a black fox or something like that. So that's going to be our first sci-fi diorama coming in. Chris, if you're listening, very excited for that. Send that my way. And I know you have 3 others to go with it. So we'll have LEDs built into things, whether it's a sci-fi, steampunk, tavern lanterns, things like that. Very excited to do some really cool builds. So that is the purpose of Realm Forge. I am forging the diorama realms for your minis. That is the idea. What if we're looking for someone that does laser engraving? I mean, I still do the laser engraving. I just have to throw it up on my bed when it's time to do laser engraving because I don't have room. This was the laser engraving table. So, but now it has turned into my entire work area filled with everything that you need to paint. And then I have an entire rack behind me that is filled with, well, actually, let me see if I can show you now that I got it on a camera swing. An entire rack filled with all of the different flocking you could ever want. I have my airbrush, everything we're doing right here. And then if you really want to know an insider thing, we have a Jeep, a Power Wheels Jeep that is going to be turned into a Jurassic Park Jeep, and it is remote control. So I'll be attending car shows with that remote control Jurassic Park Power Wheels Jeep. That's going to be epic. That's going to be a whole different video series. I don't think that'll be live streamed. So a lot of really cool stuff coming. I'll do video of it because there's going to be some new wiring work, and there's going to be some sound effects, custom paint jobs, all that sort of fun stuff. Yep, it'll be on YouTube. So I know Twitch hates it when you mention those sort of things, so there is one under the same name that I live stream and upload the VODs and shorts. So you can not watch the whole 3-hour video, you can just watch the 30-second clip of this rotating around as a finished project. Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I was reading recently that they do care, especially if you write it down in the chats and things, that they will mark you for it. So on the plus side, I am using Artlist. I did subscribe to that. So all of the music that plays through my streams and are on my videos, my shorts, they are all licensed. And I have the licenses to back them up, which have gone really well. Yeah. All right. Well, if I could talk about it. Yeah, this is YouTube, still the Realm Forge. That's where my YouTube shorts are. That's where these finished videos go on, but I also stream there because some people prefer YouTube versus Twitch as far as a streaming platform to watch people who are doing things. So yeah, I will be on both. But I will wrap it up because it is bedtime for me. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy. we'll see you next time.